Hi everyone, and welcome to our Chit-Chat podcast. And today we have a very special guest with us, Priscilla Chuah, all the way from Malacca. Thank you for coming on board this podcast. Now, maybe before we begin and go into our topic for today, maybe you can just briefly introduce yourself to our listeners, our audience.
So, hey everyone, I'm Pris, Deaconess from the Anglican Church in the Diocese of West Malaysia, currently serving in Christ Church Malacca. People call it the Red Church. Yeah. One of the most significant landmark in Malacca. If you happen to come Malacca, you must visit my church. If not, you never come to Malacca before. Yeah. So, another thing is, despite my young, full appearance, I'm recently became engaged.
Wow! Yeah, congratulations!
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, take this opportunity to make an announcement.
Who's the fiance?
Yeah, fiance is far away. Yeah, okay. He's in Australia now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay. So your fiance is studying or?
Yeah, studying theology as well in Adelaide. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Which theological seminary?
This is a tough question. He told me a lot of time, but I forgot.
Okay. Sorry, we'll find that out later. Now we know that you are a priest and from the Anglican Church. And what did you do? What actually did you do before you entered into full-time ministry?
All right. But first of all, this I must correct because this can be a very sensitive issue. I'm not a priest because in the Anglican system, we don't ordain women. But of course, later I will explain more. But for your question, it's like what I do before I start ministry is that I began my job in Singapore after completing SPM. After SPM, I have NS, if those people know National Service those days.
Okay.
Yeah. Right after I finished National Service, I went to Singapore for work. I worked at Conrad Centennial Singapore in the F&B department. It was tough, but I really enjoy life and I like my job so much. It wasn't for my calling. I guess I will still be there.
In Conrad.
Yeah, in Conrad.
Is it still there now?
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of my ex-colleagues. I just went back to Conrad during the Chinese New Year.
Okay.
And still some of my ex-colleague was there. So I happened to got the privilege to stay in the Hilton Hotel because Conrad and Hilton is like they are in one family. So like,
I see.
So getting the staff price, things like that. Yeah,
nice.
Going for a good buffet. Yeah, that's where I worked before. Working at Conrad taught me a lot. I like my job and also I feel that's the place that equipped me to get ready for my ministry. I learned about like a lot of lesson I learned is like hospitality, leadership, and teamwork. That I really enjoy working with the team is when I go back, I just feel like, this is the place that I spent several years and good food. When you walk in, you smell coffee, right? Yeah, so that's I like my work. And that's a place that really trained me. Because Singapore, right? English is not my first language. So it was really tough that time.
Okay.
I just there to do work and don't communicate with guests.
Okay.
That's why.
But now you're here, you're talking English.
I just think it's amazing. It's how God like really equipped me to get myself ready for ministry in both language. Like Mandarin and English. Of course, English still not my first language. That's why you will hear a lot of pronunciation go very off. But please bear with me. But that's the place that really taught me a lot. I enjoy my life in Singapore. I can still recall like the slogan because it's really something I think is amazing. The slogan of the hotel.
Of the hotel.
Of the hotel. We will have the orientation as well. We need to go through all the training, things like that. So the slogan was luxury of being yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just think actually you think deeply, it's actually somehow it can be a slogan in the church as well.
Wow.
I mean
Yeah.
it's just amazing when I try to reflect and think back all those days, what I have learned and what the working experience have brought to me. So after several years I worked in Singapore, I returned to Malaysia to prepare myself for the theological study. And I started my theological study in the year of 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2 years after I left.
Oh,
seminary.
right. So that's why I heard about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we only met up once at a wedding, James Ong's wedding.
Yeah.
James Ong was in this podcast as well.
Oh,
the
right.
very first episode of this podcast 2 years ago.
Wow.
James Ong was the first speaker.
Wow, cool. It was 2 years ago, so this podcast
Yeah.
have been like
3 years. This is our third year.
amazing.
Still going strong.
Support.
Wow. Thank you. Well, it's really interesting to hear how your background in the hospitality line, and then coming into ministry, right? So today's podcast really is just focusing on ministry through the lens of someone who is in the ministry. Like, how did the calling of God look and sound for you personally?
I will say it. The calling of God is look like something I don't want to see. It sounds like a voice I never want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I will give a bit of explanation for what I said. It's like I don't have the kind of like very supernatural natural experience. I couldn't say I don't have, but I think I just not the kind of people that like to look at all that or seek for a sign, things like that. So what I experience is always I try to have conversation with God.
Okay.
And I feel like God often talk to me through my thought. That's how why I say God's calling is look like something I never want to see and a voice that I never want to hear. It's because working in the church was never what I desire. Never what I desire. And
why was that?
I'm not sure, but it's like okay. I'm a very goal-oriented person.
Okay.
But of course, that a lot to do with my own family background. I grew up alone with my grandparents, so I often think that I have to plan for my own life. If not, no one will back me up. Or it's just because of that. So I often plan my life ahead. So I have my 5 years plan when I was young, things like that.
Oh, wow.
I'm just very goal-oriented person.
Okay.
So, working in the church is just not in my list.
Because you cannot set goals.
And also, to be honest, I don't want to be very poor. I just feel like working in the church, that's my impression. I have, you can't have like coffee, cafe.
Are you poor now?
Yeah, I guess no, because I earn a bit before I start ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's joking, but I think it's true because sometimes when we want to get into ministry, we need to prepare ourselves. I think also because of my own character and my upbringing, so I tend to get preparation before I want to do something. That's why I say God always speak to me through my thought.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is never something in my plan.
All right.
And I never even thought about it.
Oh.
But it just have a strong, how to say, it's always remind me, hey, come on. You will one day go to seminary and study and you will work in the church. It's just like constantly having this idea in my mind, which I never thought. And it's, and just not my plan.
Wow.
Not my plan. So that's why I said it's something that I never want to hear and I never want to see. Because this will disturb my plan.
Yeah.
If you know a goal-oriented person, even to now, I easily feel annoyed if my plan get disturbed.
Okay.
This is something I have to learn because to be a pastor or a deaconess, often you in the church or office, people will come in for any reason.
Yeah.
Is it Pastor the light? People never close yesterday. You know, all these things will come in, and you just
What
come
more
on.
in Christ Church, right? Tourists will just walk in, right?
Yeah, and then people will say, "Hey, Pastor, someone asked for prayer," and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
But I mean, like, for me as a very goal-oriented person, I learned a lot of lessons, of course, in my ministry, because I don't think this is what benefits in ministry to our ministry. So I learned a lot in my ministry. But what I mean is like this is how God calling look like for me, because I always plan. So God worked in my plan to tell me, yeah, I have a plan for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
this is how I feel
That's
about
awesome.
God calling.
I mean, like, you talk about the calling that he didn't want to accept and what.
Yeah.
For me, it's like when I had this calling to go into full-time ministry, it was a period of wrestling. Like, literally, like, just saying no. But finally, you cannot say no. I don't know if you had this similar experience of, like, having to wrestle with and trying to reject it, trying to push it away.
Definitely. I guess I'm not sure any person so obedient that responds straight away, but not me. I mean, how long did I like take me to respond to my calling? It took me 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I have my calling when I was 15 years old, but I respond to my calling when I was like 22 years old. So it took me 7 years to finally admit that I have this calling and prepare myself to answer my calling. So what I do for these 7 years, actually no one know I have calling.
Okay.
I didn't tell my pastor.
All right.
Usually the youth know that I have calling. They will go and tell the pastor,
Yeah.
I feel like God called me to do
And
this.
the pastor will target you already.
Yeah, this is the thing I don't want. That's why I never tell anyone.
Yeah.
No one, not my family member, not any of my friends, because I don't really have a Christian friend. I'm from Bido, Perak. It's a very small town. So our youth fellowship is only 4 to 5 people. Yeah, so it's a very small group. I just think that I don't want anyone to know, because if no one know, it's fine for me not to answer anyone.
Yeah.
No one can like tell me what to do or ask me when I want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's
Wow.
me. Actually, I didn't. I just like follow my plan.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 years old, when I finished my study of SPM, I went to Singapore, I start working, and yeah, life just go on. I enjoy life, I go travel every year because I earn a good, decent money.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sing
yeah.
dollars, huh?
Yes. Yeah, so
And then
that's...
you came back to Malaysia, and then you started seminary straight away.
I took 1 year to work in the church, because that time I was like, I totally lost my connection in the church. I went to Singapore for 4 years, right? So they just feel like, oh, you just come back, I can't just put you into the seminary. I need to observe, see whether you truly have the calling, and also give yourself time to really ask whether this is what you want to pursue. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Now, I don't know if you have experienced this, but on my first day in STM, it's like you made the worst choice ever.
Really?
Right? You step into STM the first day, I remember entering my dorm, and then I'm like, oh, what have I done, man? But then after a while, as you focus, and then you start to feel like, hey, yeah, this is where I have to be. I take that as like a confirmation, like, okay, this is where God is leading me. Then like the first day in ministry, like the first day you graduate and the first day you step into the church office to start your work as a pastor, it's like, oh man, what am I doing here? And then after that, you get all these confirmations like, yeah, this is where God wants me to be. I got to stay. I got to work at it. And, you will see the results. Like for me, it's 8 years already as a pastor. And, I'm very clear that this is my calling and I'm growing in it. What are some of your experiences like, when you enter and then you're like, are you sure this is where I'm supposed to be?
I think I have a totally opposite experience than you. Okay, the reason why is because, as I said, it take me 7 years to admit that I have the calling. So the moment I admit I have a calling, it's been I ready for this. I know what I'm going to face. It's just also like I mentioned before, God speak to me through all my thoughts, right? So even though I say, oh, I never want to be a pastor, but somehow I preparing myself to be a pastor. I save money. I don't just spend because I earning a good money. I just save money because I prepare one day when I come into the ministry. I can't be like earning as much as what I did before.
Yeah.
So that's the preparation I have. So when the moment I admit that I have the calling and I getting myself ready to come back, it's actually I have already done all this battle between me and God and come to the realization that I want to come back. In fact, I have no regret for giving up the 3.5 currency to come back to Malaysia.
Back then, what was the
exactly the moment I leave? The moment I leave Singapore, the currency go up to be more precise, is 2.9992.
Oh, wow.
I just make sure I got the figure right.
Okay.
I go to search it again. The year I leave Singapore, what is the currency? Is 2.9992.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This is what I often say. Never 1 minute I regret for my decision, because when I started my theological study and my ministry, I just feel the peace that I never have before when I was working in Singapore.
Okay.
I said I enjoy life in Singapore. I like my job so much. I have good colleagues, even though today we still keep a good connection. But then I just don't feel like I have no satisfaction. But when the moment I come back, I start theological study, I really have a totally opposite feeling. Because when I go to STM, I just feel like the first year, I just feel like I never want to leave this place.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Seriously.
Wow, I couldn't wait to
this is
leave,
not an
man.
advertisement.
Don't worry, STM now is very nice. The new campus is so beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
We were there when it was the old campus, super old campus. You can't wait to leave every Friday.
But what I mean, really, because I have the peace with me, that I really can feel that I'm making a right decision to come back instead of like.
First time I heard an STM student say they don't want to leave the campus. But I also want to sidetrack a bit. Like, why Malaysia? Why not Singapore? Right? I mean, Singapore has got good Bible colleges, like well-known ones, and I mean, you can serve in Singapore, continue to get the 2.99.
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely won't be a poor pastor.
You are asking a really good question, because the time when I decided to leave, I tell my pastor in Singapore, and my pastor in Singapore also tried to encourage me or offer me, saying that if you really want to do theological study, what about you work in our church? And we pay you go to study, and after that you come back to the church to serve. Yeah. And the pastor said, I can't promise that give you what you're getting now as your paid, but definitely better than in Malaysia. Okay. But then the time, I don't know, I'm very sure, after I think back, I'm very sure it's the answer given by God, and it's the Spirit lead. Because without hesitation, I respond to the pastor, said, Singapore have Singaporean to answer God's calling, but Malaysia need Malaysian to go back.
Wow.
That's really not my answer. Even though until now, right, when I say this, right, I just feel like, wow, come on, Priscilla, where you come this wisdom and this confidence. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like just without hesitation, I just answer in this way. So I really think that why is Malaysia? I just feel I called to come back.
Yeah, thank God you came back. So I have my guest on this podcast now. I guess on a bigger picture, I think it's very true. I think Malaysia, we lack younger pastors, and our older pastors are slowly going to retire. And I think if the younger ones don't come back or don't step up and don't see the need in Malaysia, I think that's where we might be lacking of pastors in across all denominations.
Yes.
And yeah, it's really good that you had this burden to come back to Malaysia. Now, let's just talk a little bit about now in the ministry. What are some of the challenges? So first, in Christ Church, do you shepherd this church like solo, or do you have another priest?
In Christ Church Malacca, actually have I'm working under assistant bishop Jason, but I'm alone taking care of the Chinese congregation because Bishop Jason is an Indian. That's why I have to alone taking care of the Chinese congregation and all the Chinese ministry.
All right.
Yeah.
So as a tourist church, you see, I was in Malacca like last month with my kids, and then I was like, I need to bring y'all to Christ Church. I need to let y'all see Christ Church. And my two girls, one is 1 year old, doesn't know anything. She just follow. Then my second one is like, no, I don't want to go Christ Church. I don't want to go to church anymore. I don't want to go to church. I want to go holiday.
Oh, poor
I'm
girl.
like, we are on holiday. Don't worry. We need to see this church. And I think I brought them there to show them I love this kind of ancient structures.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this kind of old cathedral. And then I was looking for the pastor.
Oh.
I kind of know you were the pastor there. But I just asked the secretary, like, is your pastor around? We want to take a picture with the pastor. Then the secretary was like, oh, I don't think the pastor is free to take a picture with you now. But I'm wondering, is it because you are a tourist church, do you get this kind of request a lot?
A lot. So if you say, oh, I want to ask the pastor to pray for me, then maybe they will ask me to come down. But if you ask to take a photo, they will never, because we can't entertain all the all the tourists to do this. Yeah, often they have all kind of requests.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if the next time I come with my kids, can they take a picture?
You need to call me personally. Yeah. I cannot
go through
that.
the secretary.
Because also this is something that I asked them not to do. Because previously everyone call me, they will just call me out and they don't know what actually I'm going to do there. And then after that I just tell you can't like every time ask me out. You need to check with them what is their request first. Yeah, certain requests you have to just block it there and not to don't have to bring up to me. Being a tourist church have a different challenge.
It's a very challenging place to be in.
Yeah, but I will say is at first when I posted to the church, I don't know how to appreciate. I don't like history. I really don't like.
Oh no.
I cannot.
Oh no, I love that church.
I have my tough time there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what other challenges do you face? Like especially as a woman and pastor?
Yeah, so as I mentioned just now, I will tell more about this woman in Anglican Church. We don't call ourselves pastor. In a way, when we call ourselves pastor, is lower our title already.
Okay.
Yeah, because pastor is like we have a lay pastor, is people who working in the church and doing some ministry work. But a woman being commissioned, we call them deaconess. So my title, it should be, a proper title is called deaconess. So some people will just call me deaconess. All right. To maybe give a bit of context, is like in the Diocese of West Malaysia, we don't ordain women, but we will commission the woman to be deaconess. Then you might think, oh, so what's the difference between ordination and commissioned? Ordain is mean you become deacon, and after that the first time is commissioned to be deacon. The second time we will be ordained to be priest. But for women, we only have one time which is commissioned to be deaconess. After we become deaconess, the difference between deaconess and priest is we can't do ABC. A part of ABC, the rest of the thing, all we work as the priest. What's the ABC? Is A for absolution, B for benediction, and C for consecration.
All right.
So this is the three things we cannot do.
And
we call it ABC.
I mean, I know the B. I don't know the A and the C.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Absolution. What's absolution?
Like in our liturgy,
Okay.
We will confess our sin. This is our liturgy every Sunday. Basically, if a very liturgical Anglican church, we will do every Sunday. We have the Holy Communion, and then our liturgy will begin from confess our sin, and after that, the priest or the bishop will then give the absolution.
All right.
It's like, God have already listened to our prayer and we are forgiven.
Okay.
It's a liturgy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then benediction is like very clear and straightforward. It's a blessing. And the last consecration, I think Methodist Church also, you will consecrate your Holy Communion, right?
Oh, yes. The Holy Communion.
Yes, that's the thing.
Okay.
So it's like, as I know, is Methodist Church, you have elders, which you can consecrate the Holy Communion.
True.
But when you are not yet elders, you can only assist in the Holy Communion unless given
special permission.
Yeah, by the bishop.
True.
No, what do you call the president?
Our bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah, bishop has to give this special permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for our case, it's like the woman can't consecrate the Holy Communion, but we can assist in the Holy Communion.
I see.
Yeah, so that's, I would say, of course, there's a little bit of administration work, chairing the meeting, things like that. There is still a bit of different in terms of the administration authority or things. But the main difference, I would say, the ABC is the things that we can't.
Do you feel that this is sort of like, I don't know, if you're not able to do the functions, the full functions of a pastoral ministry, like, do you feel in a way limited or,
So that's why just now you asked me the question, is the challenge correct?
Yeah.
I think the challenge, and do I feel restrict is very close. They have very close relationship. So I think as a woman in the Diocese of West Malaysia. Oh, I have to mention another thing is not just in the Diocese of West Malaysia, it's in the whole Southeast Asia. The province of Southeast Asia is include the Diocese of Kuching, Sabah, Singapore, and West Malaysia.
Okay.
For the moment, we are not ordained women.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but of course, there is some of the Anglican church in other country or other province, they do ordain women. In fact, they have woman bishop. Yeah, but this is a lot of discussion behind. But the challenge be woman deaconess is like I think mainly have two things that at least for me, I feel restricted. The first thing is our spiritual authority being questioned.
Yeah.
Being I give some example. It's like some of the church member, they will insist the priest to pray for them. This happened during in the session time. A church member say, it's okay, I can wait. I mean, like when this is not my personal experience, but I witness it.
Yeah.
It's like when a deaconess try to pray for a person, and the church member just say, never mind, I can wait.
Okay.
So the person just want to wait until the priest to approach.
All right.
Then only he.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, like I feel so sad when I see it, because I think we all can pray for each other.
Yeah.
Correct.
True.
Yeah. So that's not in a way, it's not a special authority even for priests or what. We all can pray for each other. Yeah. But of course, we believe on the spiritual authority. That's why sometimes we still will ask the priest, the deaconess, or the pastor to pray, because it's just make us feel like. Yeah,
we are better.
Yeah, it's somehow, right? Yeah. But I mean, that's the challenge, and I feel somehow restricted. It's like, I can do this, but it's just why I can't? It's like no one stopped me, but I can't. Because of my position, people will doubt.
Exactly.
This is one of the example I can think of. And sometimes you being asked by some question is like, can you preach as a deaconess?
Oh,
Of
okay.
course I can preach.
Okay.
Because people just don't understand. You say you cannot be ordained, you are not a priest. Like
Yeah.
they just can't differentiate what's the difference when you say
Yeah.
it. And they will say, oh, then can you conduct a funeral service? Yes, we can conduct funeral service. Yeah, I mean, like all this question is like just
Yeah,
just
true.
yeah, you feel restricted in a way. And the second challenge and things is like we have to constantly prove our self-worth. If
As a woman, you're talking about as a
yes,
woman.
especially in the ministry, because you see, when a man ordained, you are priest. But when a woman went through commission, you have to work hard to show in your ministry that you are you worth to get this title. It's like if you do well, you will be seems like a capable deaconess. If you don't do well, then you will just get comment like, oh, you see, women are just not fit for leadership position. You know, that's something that I really feel like, why? Even to myself, sometimes I work very hard. It's just because I want them to show people that I worth to be called deaconess.
I see.
But also at the same time, I feel very painful and sad. It's because I have to work hard to prove myself that I worth to be called deaconess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is something.
And this is something that male counterparts, normally you don't get it because it's just natural.
Yeah.
Somehow the ministry is always more, it leans more towards the male. Yeah. What are some, are there any other distinct differences between you and your male colleagues, like your male counterparts? Any other very distinct differences?
I couldn't think of any. Our benefit is quite the same. I mean, like we are not ordained,
Okay.
but
the same benefits.
we are getting.
wow.
That's why you know that's
But the workload, is it the same or?
Yeah.
It's the same, right?
Because I can do all things a priest
Except
do, right?
the ABC.
Yeah, and we have a terms called, what's that term called? It's like deaconess in charge.
Okay.
So it's like we can alone taking care of a church. So when we are alone taking care of the church, then we are the deaconess in charge. Mean you have to chair the parish council meeting, things like that. So all the workloads are same. Then talk about this. I can think of another restrict. It's like when we get into a committee, you are a woman, you are easily called to become the secretary.
Oh, okay.
This is a
Okay.
restrict. It's like I can't do other work better than being a secretary.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of deaconess actually stuck in the paperwork.
I see.
Because it's just like when
no.
they see a woman face, oh, you will be a good secretary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's also a kind of restrict, right?
Wait, did they make you secretary in STM?
Not STM, but in my own team. Oh, sorry, I just get so kicked on. I mean, like, in my own denomination, in the church, I got a lot of secretary, honorary secretary, or when I get into a committee, until an extent I just say, no, not me. I'm sorry, I just couldn't do any more secretary work. Yeah, and I'm not a detail person. I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, like, this is a stereotype, right? When you see women, you think, oh, woman should.
secretary straight away.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, this happened. This is.
That's why I'm very conscious in our meetings. It's like call a guy, do the minutes and do all the minutes
cool,
recording.
really.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of gender stereotypes, right? Yeah, especially in the ministry, it can be very. Is it tiring? Do you feel tiring with all this gender stereotypes so present and it's there, and it's kind of like a hindrance in ministry? Do you feel it that way?
I think I don't feel like tired. It's more like I feel sad. Why? I mean, like, sometimes I just couldn't answer the non-Christian friend question. It's like, why your church is not ordained woman? I went to that church. That church have a woman priest or woman pastor. I mean, like, why your church cannot? Oh, what era already you?
Yeah.
I mean, like, all these questions, I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
And I can't tell them, oh, this is the theological debate. We have a lot of things to do with.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, like, I just feel like, oh, so making people feel like, oh, why the church is now behind the world, things like that.
Yeah.
Which is actually not. It's not.
Yeah.
And I just feel like gospel should free us from all this bondage.
Yep.
But I just think like, the time is not yet there. I think we need to have a lot of breakthrough.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's sad, but I think the time will come. And I just feel, our church is actually can accept women to be the leader, to lead. They also affirm that we study well, we do all things good. It's just like some of the things that it take time to change. I like what my bishop, our former bishop Moon Heng, he used to say, diocese is a big ship. If we want to change a direction, we can't just change it. It takes time for us to make change of the direction. Yeah. So I think that's a very cool analogy to help us to understand that.
I think this is every denomination. Each denomination has its own, weaknesses and strengths. Sometimes to overcome the weaknesses, it takes years. It takes a lot of conversations, a lot of a lot of debating sometimes. And most importantly, a lot of people just stand firm and stand up for what they feel is right. I believe one day change will happen. Yeah. And I think change is always good. We need to embrace change.
Yes.
When we don't like change, that's where the ship will go down.
Yeah. Change is not always good, but if no change, nowhere to be better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure the change will be better or not, but if I don't change, I'm sure I'm not getting anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what I really think.
Yeah.
We have to have the courage to make change, and because if we believe that there is where God lead us, let God do the rest of the work. We just follow what God have called us and do what is God called us to do.
True. I think change is so important, but of course, well thought change. Think through the process of change and why the change needs to happen. And when it happens, I think it's for a good reason.
True.
Yeah. I mean, so you talk about the challenges, we talk about how you got into ministry. What are some rewarding moments? I don't know, how many years have you been serving as a pastor, as a deaconess?
Yeah, I'm a very young deaconess. I mean, young in terms of ministry. This is my 3rd year in ministry.
Okay.
So, what is some rewarding moment? I think what I remember is when someone remind me what happened, what I have done for them or to them, to their life. Yeah, I think that's a rewarding moment. I remember one time at the youth camp when I told youth, stop using your mobile during the talks. It's a free time. It's just I know the youth before. It's a grow up Sunday school student. It's long time ago, not long time. I mean, few years back, I was his Sunday school teacher, and I met him in the youth camp. So I just said it to him I saw you playing your mobile phone during the talks. Not to do that anymore. And then you know what he said to me? He just said, "Okay, teacher, you keep your phone. You keep my phone for me.
Oh wow!
You keep the phone for me."
Okay.
And I just feel so touched. This mean a lot for me. It's how much he trusts me.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just said, "Oh, teacher, you keep the phone for me." Yeah. He don't feel like I judge him. He just feel like he need help to do it. Yeah, I feel like this is a rewarding moment. It's actually telling me that, come on, you have already built a relationship with this person until the person will listen to you. I mean, not because he listened to me, so I feel like I'm so proud I'm doing the right thing. I just feel like, this is actually, I don't know, because this boy often being labeled as a naughty boy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why no one want to like tell him what to do. But when I tell him like, stop using your mobile phone. Because when people talk to him, it's not like talking nicely to him. You say, you see, you play mobile phone, you useless, things like this, you stupid. All this word is really hurtful. You can't believe things will happen in the church still sometime, right?
Yeah.
So when I just tell him, stop using your mobile phone during the talk, and he just said, he handed the phone to me, and I really keep the phone for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say, you don't have to do this, but if you want me to help you, I will do this for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I don't want him to feel like, I said, you are not a small boy anymore. You are youth.
Yeah.
You will be able to do this. But you feel like today you need my help to do this, I will help you to do it. But I hope that in future, you will have the ability to do it yourself without someone help because you want to do it. So I just think this is a rewarding moment in my ministry. Yeah, it's not a big thing. But it's something that make me feel like I'm really doing something that impact people's life. Yeah, that's what we call to do. Yeah, I
think these kind of moments keep us on that path
Yes.
to continue serving, right?
Yeah.
Because it's I can testify there are many times like I'm in the ministry a bit longer, like 5 years longer, so I have 8 years experience. Like, but this 8 years is not always like, oh, I know so well what I want to do, and this is where, because there are really a lot of challenges, like challenges pile up, but then there's always that one moment. It's not always a big moment. And that one moment, like this is why I'm here. This is right. Yeah.
And you know, because you have children, I haven't married. I just got engaged. But I mean, like when I have this youth, like I brought up, right? I do so much in his. I try to do a lot. That's what I think, and end up he's still like not doing well in the church. And people still calling him, you naughty boy, you useless. Actually, for me, I feel so painful when I hear this. I just feel like, God, I just ask, God, is it I didn't do any change in this person's life, or I make no difference to him. But no, the moment that he tell me, oh, teacher, you hold this for me until end of the talk, or until you think that I should use phone. That moment really make a big difference for me. It's like, no, you are doing the right thing. Just keep going. Yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. I mean, like the whole conversation this today was like really interesting. But unfortunately, we have to come to an end very soon. But like before we end, like I mean, young pastors, young also, okay. Like I always try to inspire the next generation of potential pastors. Not need to be pastors. You can be a church leader or someone who. How would you challenge more specifically more young women to
challenge them to come to the ministry? I will just think like a lot of time they have the calling, but they have no courage, or the most popular question being asked is like, how I know I have the calling? And I often will tell the people, if you're asking this question, you have the calling. Because not everyone asking this question. Why you ask this question? Is that you have already something in your mind, but you just think that this is not something I want to see, this is not something I want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, that's what exactly I say. Right? That of course that's the way that I discern God call in my life. That's not applicable for everyone. But I just feel like this could be one of the way that help us to listen to God's voice. So I think it's important that to help them to see their calling. The way to challenge them is not. I just feel like the challenge is not from me; it's from God. We sometimes just need some people to pop them. Like why I don't want to tell my pastor I have calling, because I scared people pop me. Like when you go. I mean, like right.
Has anyone come to you and like, Pastor, I have this, I have this calling? Has anyone come up to you?
No, they don't say they have this calling. They will say, how? That's why I say the most question being asked is like, how I know I have the calling. Then I will ask, why you ask this question? It's like out of sudden, what? If nothing, you will never like thought of this, right? So I will ask then. I say, oh no, I just thought of this. Why and how to know God calling in my life? And I think I will continue in the conversation to help them to find out more, whether yes or no. Time will prove. Sometimes it's not like just one conversation you can make that happen. You need a lot of time to walk with them, to encourage them, and show them with our own life story.
Yeah.
Not like saying we are doing better, but we are ahead of them. So some of them, they may have to walk now. We have already walked before.
Yeah.
So by our story, it sometimes like trigger them to think, and also make them, I also experiencing something like this. Is it I have the calling? I mean, so and continue to pray for them. This is what I think can encourage or challenge the woman. It's like by sharing our vision or sharing our ministry. I don't know. This is also there's people come to me and say, thanks for your sharing. I feel so encouraged, and I just feel like God called me after hearing your story. I'm like, did I share anything? I don't even remember what I talked just now. But sometimes I just feel like if you use your own story to help others, that's what God, what's the reason that we have experienced what we experienced.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
Awesome.
Don't waste it. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. And I hope, for you listening here, especially the younger people, hope you are inspired by Deaconess Priscilla sharing today. And hopefully, if you have the calling, you can talk with her.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
to Christ Church Malacca. Go to Christ Church Malacca. Say you need prayer.
You can.
Yeah.
You say you listen to the podcast of Chit-Chat and then you want to come and ask some question, and I will come down.
Yeah. Don't say you want to take a picture. She won't entertain you. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. And most importantly, thank you for your very honest sharing.
I'm happy, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to
no problem.
be
Most
part
welcome.
of the sharing. Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
thank you.
Thank you all for listening to this episode, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.